There's no way I could make a series about battle royales and their contributions to the genre without covering the BR gateway drug of our generation. In my previous video, I mentioned PUBG and made a joke at its expense. I felt like maybe I was being a bit harsh because frankly, I haven't touched the game since 2018. By the end of this video, we'll have a better idea of the state of the game in 2020 and some insight into the real player unknown. Now, before I say more, I want to preface with this. PUBG will be the earliest installment of a battle royale that I will cover in this series. So I thought a quick overview of what predated PUBG would be helpful. Battle Royale was originally a novel written by Koshun Takami in 1999 and adapted into a cult classic film by the same name in 2000. The concept for the story being several high school-aged children pitted against each other on an island. Last to survive wins and is released from the island. This was loosely based on pro wrestling Battle Royale. In 2008, Suzanne Collins wrote Hunger Games, which piggybacked on the idea and achieved incredible success, with a subsequent film adaptation 4 years later starring everyone's girl crush Jennifer Lawrence. Oh. The series became a pop culture phenomenon with its own t-shirts, blankets, action figures, and Minecraft mods? Yes, during mid-2012, a Minecraft server called Minecraft Hunger Games took the internet by storm. All the major names rushed to get their content published from this hip new game mode. Meanwhile, a man named Brendan Green, better known in the modding community as Player Unknown, was working on a new mod for the Arma 2 DayZ mod, which would turn the slow-paced survival game into a more action-packed one. From there, he went to work on a new game called H1Z1, which had its own rough implementation of a battle royale called King of the Kill. From there, Green went to a studio called Blue Hole to develop his own game, Player Unknown's Battleground, which released in 2017. Okay, so the year is 2017. It's been 5 years since Minecraft Hunger Games. Everyone and their mom has been waiting on the real deal, polished, standalone battle royale game. Along comes PUBG. It's got guns. It's got cars. It's got third person. What? This game made a splash in the gaming community like a bowling ball dropped from the Hoover Dam. The game made $700 million during its first year of launch. Blue Hole launched PUBG with 30 developers, which was hardly prepared for the influx of players about to head their way. Did I say before that everyone was waiting on the real deal, polished, standalone battle royale game? Yeah. Turns out we were just looking for any standalone battle royale. PUBG was a mess of bugs, janky physics, clunky controls, but it didn't matter then. You could roll up with your squad, drop into an ever-shrinking map, find some loot, drive around and crawl into the final circle, desperately chasing that winner winner chicken dinner screen, which had all the flair of a wet cardboard sign saying congratulations, but felt like you were mainlining black tar in your jugular. The playership peaked in January of 2018, with an average of 1.5 million players, and began to steadily decline as the game faced off with Fortnite, which also saw a meteoric rise around that same time. By mid-2018, PUBG filed suit against Epic Games, claiming that it copied the core experience of PUBG, which certainly came off as tone-deaf, seeing as it stood on the shoulders of every game and novel before it. PUBG received a lot of flack from the community as well for various bugs, as well as the existence of loot boxes. The game struggled through 2018, but held its niche as the more realistic battle royale. In this time, Blue Hole had issued a litany of patches, many of which were just bug fixes, but the core gameplay remained the same. It was at this point that PUBG could go one of two ways. PUBG could double down as the realistic battle royale by dialing in its physics and core gameplay loop. They could use a chunk of that $700 million to hire more developers and make PUBG a truly clean game that would have silenced all the naysayers. Or they could use that chunk of money to hire developers to port their current product to every system they possibly could. Much to the dismay of PC players, they opted for the second option. I've given this a bit more thought since I initially had the idea to make a video on PUBG. Originally, I wanted to talk about how their decision was incorrect, and how they missed out on a huge opportunity, especially considering how they botched their Xbox One port to meet the holiday deadline. But frankly, they made the right choice. PUBG was never going to beat out future Battle Royales unless they completely remade the game from scratch, and even then you're talking about a tiny company going up against the biggest publishers and devs who can throw untold sums of money at their own implementations. But by pushing it to other consoles, and eventually mobile, they opened themselves up to an audience that was also eagerly awaiting its first Battle Royale experience. Many people blamed Brendan Green for this, but in a company that achieved such rapid success, there are stakeholders and execs that will ultimately be steering the ship. Now we're in 2020, and several other games have surpassed PUBG in the realistic shooter battle royale category, and I enjoy playing most of them. I knew I wanted to make a series on battle royales, and I knew that PUBG deserved a mention on that list. I hadn't touched the game since 2018, and it wouldn't be fair for me to rail on a game that I haven't actually played in 2 years, especially when that game is still one of the top 5 active games on Steam. So I installed it, booted it back up so I could give you a more accurate review of how good the game is in 2020. Graphically, the game is more stable than it was in 2017, which is a big plus. I'm sure some work has gone into improving the textures, but at first glance I didn't notice much of a difference. Maps in PUBG have a vast feeling to them, and make your character feel quite small, even in relation to other big-name battle royales. Recent maps have done a better job at being less sparse, but there remains large swaths of land where there's no cover in sight. This makes the initial search for weapons and sights crucial and makes items like the Kar 98K with an 8x scope a coveted item. Stealth and long-range weapons are the name of the game if you expect to make it far in PUBG. I think this is actually a main appeal to those that still play the game in 2020. Once you learn the lead time and bullet drop, the long-range kills can be as satisfying as a post on a perfect fit. The controls are dog-ass, and I can be objective here. I've been spoiled by all the incredible movement shooters that have been released in the past 5 years. But the movement in PUBG is doo-doo. It restricts the player's expression of movement and makes fights feel janky. The vaulting and climbing is underwhelming and makes sprinting for cover feel like quap, which means more thought goes into how you're positioning and thinking about how to rotate to the next circle in these sparse maps. But the game doesn't offer much in the way of mid-fight utility except maybe smoke grenades. I'm sure a lot of people will take issue with this fact if they're die-hard fans of the game, just as I might take offense if someone said that Halo 3 had doo-doo physics and dog-shit controls, but not because they're wrong. I'd be offended because my sense of nostalgia tells me that I need to defend a game I poured my heart into. With either game, let's not pretend that this is the pinnacle of what games can achieve. Games will inevitably push the envelope and leave these behind. But to that I say, raise a glass to another huge stepping stone in the Battle Royale genre, because without a doubt, PUBG has solidified its place and will continue to be played for years to come. Hey everyone. Very quickly, I wanted to say thank you to Brendan Green for helping to bring Battle Royales to where they are today. And I wanted to thank you for watching to the end. Leave a like or a comment if you feel so inclined, and subscribe to the channel. It's free and it helps me create more content like this. Click on one of my other videos and I'll see you over there. Take it easy. Leave a like and